Hi, welcome to Psychic Tapestry. I'm Ken Kessler and she's Toni DeMaio. Hi, Toni.
Hi, Ken, and hello, everyone. It's wonderful to be here.
It is wonderful to be here.
Mhm.
We're recording this on Tuesday night. We record every other Tuesday night, most of the time. And we record these on Zoom. So if you would like, you can join us and maybe get a reading if time allows. And we're going to try and get to that tonight if I don't talk too much. But I'm getting ahead of myself. There are a couple ways you can connect with us. Facebook.com/Psychic Tapestry, at Psychic Tapestry on Twitter, I guess on X, formerly Twitter, but you knew what I meant. And you can also check out our website, psychictapestry.com, and you can connect through that way as well. If you're listening to this on your phone, there's one more way you can connect. There's a little thing you can click on that says send us a text message, and you can connect that way as well. No one else will see that but us. So if you want to put a way for us to contact you, you can do that. If you don't, if you want to just say good job, that's okay too. If you have a problem or are confused about something, that's another way that you can let us know. So those are the ways that you can connect. And tonight, I don't know why I say tonight, because most people are going to be listening to this whenever you're listening to this. On this episode, we're going to be delving into free will versus destiny. Is that about the way that you'd say it, Toni?
I think so. It's
Okay.
either fate or destiny, and destiny is the better word, I think.
Yeah,
And that's absolutely the truth.
it is. And
Yep.
free will is basically my understanding. You can do
Mhm.
whatever you want. Is that,
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, God gave you the right to make your own choices on earth. And even
however,
the guardian angels are holding back, and your guides, your spirit guides, they can't even help you except to save your life if you're about to kill yourself before your expiration date that you have decided upon with God before you got here, like your contract.
or
So,
or
yeah.
unless you ask for them to
Then if you
intervene.
ask them, they step right in. So
Yes.
that's the important thing, is to ask, and that will help you to have a better experience on earth in so many ways. Go ahead.
Unless you're asking for something that is not for your highest good,
Right?
such as, please give me the winning Powerball numbers. Archangel Michael, please, please.
Please. Oh, please.
Yeah.
So many people mention that to me too in the course of a
Oh, I'm
day of
sure.
their readings.
That's one of
Yeah.
the big things that people like to ask. They like to
Mhm.
joke about that on social media. Oh gosh, if you guys are psychics, how come
Yeah.
you haven't won the Powerball? Ah, ha, ha, ha.
Ha ha
Yeah,
ha. Good question, maybe. I don't know. Because maybe we're not supposed to.
yeah,
Fate or destiny,
right.
or free choice. Fate, destiny, or free choice, whatever. Okay.
So on the one hand, there's free choice,
Mm-hmm.
do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, there is fate or destiny, whatever you want to call it, which means that choices have already been made.
Yep.
And somehow we're living in a mix of the two. You
Yes.
can do whatever you want, but you can't do whatever you want because some choices have been made.
Yeah. But
So,
hopefully you want to do what your destiny is. That's the
right.
hope. Yeah.
And in my experience, and I don't want to sound like I am so smart and evolved and enlightened that
My
I
God.
know all the answers and I know why I'm here and what I'm supposed to do. Because, like most people, I'm doing the best I can and I'm trying, but I don't know exactly. But I do know that when you struggle against whatever it is you're supposed to do, whatever your destiny or fate is, doesn't usually work out so well. It's not
Yeah.
like, well, I'm my path, my fate, my destiny, whatever you call it, is to help family, friends, people I come in contact with. And instead, I want to do, I want to be alone. I want to live on my own island and not deal with anybody. And that ain't going to happen. And even if I were able to force it to happen somehow, I'd be miserable. It would not be, and it wouldn't be long before I'm off that island back doing what I said I didn't want to do. And I don't want it to sound like I'm thinking that helping people is something I don't want to do. I'm just
Not
using this as
really
a
true.
very
Yeah.
general example. Um, so how do we reconcile it?
Okay, that's a really good question. And I think that some things, it kind of starts back to where we were with the soul contracts. I think that part of our destiny is determined in some way by our soul contracts also. So a lot of the things that are meant to be, it's usually involving love and people that and other souls that we're meant to interact with in this lifetime. And truly everything is about us learning our lessons here on Earth School. So some of those lessons that our soul needs to learn, whether it's to pay back a karmic debt, which it well might be, we kind of outline them with God and we agree that we're going to marry this one or that one or interact with this one and this person will be my best friend and that'll be my mom and that there's my dad. And all these things are kind of set up. Those things are destiny. Yeah, you can make that choice, as we found in our discussion on soul contracts. You can decide to make a different choice at any time because free will seems to trump or either or cancels out um, the destiny or fate, whichever you want to say. So it seems like free will wins, I think. But my theory is that, as I said, the soul contracts and then karma comes in too, and our souls carry that awareness, whether we are aware of it, of certain things that we are supposed to do on this earth.
My
Yeah.
wife had kind of an epiphany um, about some of this the other day,
Good.
and she has been thinking about it, and she shared it with me last night, and I want to make sure that she gets credit for this.
She should have come on the show.
Well, she's
She's busy.
she's doing her own thing on her own Zoom right now in another
Okay.
room.
All right.
Um, but I'll I'll share it as best I can.
Yes.
And she was talking to someone, and I don't know who it was, somebody who is some kind of a spiritual coach.
Okay.
And they were talking about how when you're back to being an energy being, all energy, when
Right.
you've that you make a decision about the life you're getting ready to have. She likened it to being at a train station and you're going to get on the train, but before you do, you have decided, and the example that she used was that this person decided they wanted a level 10 forgiveness experience. That's what they wanted in this life. And they needed another energy, another person to come with them to help with that. Because if you want a forgiveness experience, you have to have somebody that you're going to forgive. And it needs to, and you want an experience that is that big, it has to be something big. So that's the deal, the contract, whatever you want to call it, that they made when they came back. And Lisa's epiphany about this was that to make that kind of life happen, it depended on astrology and when you arrived,
Ah,
that point. And she said that, if you could get your chart and figure out exactly when you got here and study it, the answer's there, that you could figure out why you're here. And I thought, wow, that's very big.
it is.
And I know that astrology is very complicated.
Yeah.
Um, one of the early interviews that I did on Psychic Tapestry was with someone who still is an
Hmm.
amazing astrologist and has all of the books, and there is so much math and science involved. And
Yeah.
I tip my hat to anybody who does this because you have to be smart. You have to
Yeah,
be
you
able
do.
to do all of this, but that you could figure out what your entry point to this life is and where that is astrologically, and how that illustrates what you're here to do.
Hmm.
So really, your life right now is your own fault. It's
It
basically,
usually is. It
yeah,
basically
it
usually
usually
is.
is. As humans, we don't like to accept blame or responsibility very much. Um, so you do have to, but you are responsible for that. And I
Absolutely.
think that's where the free will and the destiny sort of intertwine, because on the one hand, in this example, the destiny is this big forgiveness experience, this life that will include this big forgiveness. And that's the destiny. But the free will is that you have to live that life. You have to make the decisions to get to the point where you can forgive.
Hmm.
And that ain't easy.
That's right.
And and that immediately makes me wonder, why would you pick that then?
Because your soul needs it for whatever reason.
Ugh.
Our soul knows best, and we don't always remember everything consciously. I think subconsciously, sometimes we do. And that's why we might meet someone and immediately know, gee, this is someone special. And that's because they are. That's the person you're supposed to meet for whatever reason, whether it's friendship, a business interaction, or a love relationship. But we kind of know when somebody's special and they come into our lives, we have a sense of familiarity or comfort with them.
I told my wife that a lot of it sounds to me like some sort of Rod Serling monkey's paw thing where you say you want this, and then it's so much more difficult than you think it's going to be.
And sometimes it is. Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
And and she's a lot smarter than me. She said, because obviously that should have been, she's a lot smarter than I. But anyway, she says that you have to have the bad experiences to appreciate the good,
Yes.
which really annoyed me, but I know she's also right.
Yes. And what else about those bad experiences? What do you learn the most from? The bad experiences.
Yeah.
That's what we learn the most from.
Because
And we grow.
I told her, well, next time around, I think what I want to do is have a blissful experience where everything is good, where there is abundance, where everyone I'm connected to is happy. And the problem with that is that if there isn't the flip side of all of those things, how do you know or appreciate any of it?
Yeah. Well, if it's really good, I think you can. And sometimes people have what is called a reward lifetime, like for going through something really bad, maybe, and learning a lot of lessons, or taking on a disability in a lifetime and getting through that and doing it with grace and making a difference in the world because of it. And then they do get a lifetime where everything goes well. and they stay married to their spouse and they're madly in love and they have perfect children and everything's beautiful. And you every now and then you meet people like that had like a charmed life. And they say to me, they actually come for readings and say, how come my life has been so good? I'm waiting for all the bad to happen and it never does. And I say, you're in a reward lifetime because you've already had, you've learned a lot of lessons and you've been through the tough time. So every now and then, I think you can have a life that is a reward and it's all good. And what you just said is true.
Okay. I have said
Okay.
many times on this podcast that I'm not coming back.
Yeah, I
I,
know.
I think, um,
I bet
I,
you do, though.
I, and again, I don't want to sound like I am that I think that I am so evolved and so enlightened and everything. But I feel on some level, I feel like I have done what I was meant to do in my lifetimes here. And I'm ready to move on to whatever is next. And that may be a whole lot of ego. But I don't care. I just feel like this place it has a lot of good qualities, but it's really kind of dumb. And I just and I've had enough. And I think, okay, if I could rig it somehow that what I want is a reward lifetime I would consider coming back. But I'm pretty sure that that's not how it works. So we'll
Yeah,
see.
we'll
And
see.
I'm
I think you'll come back if Lisa comes back. I think you'll say, "Oh, okay, I'll come too." If we have to go back, we'll go back. And I have a feeling she loves life and she'll want to come back. So I think I'm going to see
does.
her again. I know she
Oh,
does.
she does. And I
And you're going to
know,
want to be in her life, and you know
yes,
you
she's going
will.
to drag me back here. I know we
Yeah.
were in each other's lives before, and it just didn't work out that we could get to be together. And now that we have been able to do that, I feel like there should be some Akashic record of a list that I can cross that off. There, we did it. Hooray. Do the touchdown dance, and what's next?
Yeah, but you would miss her.
I would.
You have a deep soul connection. You guys are a real soul contract. I predict that you'll be back. I can't predict what relationship it'll be because that'll freak everybody out. So I'm not going
Yeah.
to do that. But I do believe you will be back. And there's another interesting thing that I ran into in my research on the topic tonight. They
Mm-hmm.
were saying that a lot of our choices are determined by our family, our background, our childhood, the influence of our parents, by our genes. Like they were saying that destiny could be described as your height, but free will is your weight. So you could think about it that way, right? Because you have the free will to eat as much as or as little as you want to, or whatever. I thought that was an interesting analogy, and it kind of brought it home to me. But it's interesting that the choice of our parents is very important in how we are able to fulfill all of these things. I mean, if our parents, and we choose our parents, if they give us a good, secure upbringing and make us feel like we can do anything, those people go far in life because they're not battling against that little silent caution in the back of your head or your heart that is telling you you can't really do that. You might not be able to do that. You might not be good enough if you weren't taught that you are good enough for anything. So that's one way people can get derailed. It depends on, the people around them.
I was very fortunate that my parents
Yeah.
liked me.
Yep.
I mean, most parents love their children, but all parents don't necessarily like their children.
That's true too.
And My parents liked me, and no matter what I did, and I did some stuff, but they still liked me,
They
and
still
they
like
still
you.
loved me, and they were still proud of me. And whatever it was that I did, I always felt like I could talk to them without reprisal.
Mhm.
Um, by that I mean if I made a decision, like I made a decision to drop out of school, and it wasn't just, oh, this is hard, I don't want to do it anymore. I had lots of reasons of things that were going on in my life and things I wanted to do and things I needed to do. And I had an intelligent conversation with them about that. And they weren't happy about it. They didn't like it, but they also didn't disown me.
Yeah.
And I mean, they tried to bribe me to go back, but I told them that would be for the wrong reason, don't you think? And that was hard for them to argue that. So they still liked me and they still helped me and were still proud of me. And I was very fortunate to have that. And I tried to do that as best I could with my kids. And I hope that they feel that
Mhm.
and that they do that with their kids.
Yes. So important.
But, and as a parent, you want to swoop in and fix things that get broken with your kids and help them. And sometimes you have to back off and let them find their way. And I think that that's part of this too. It's their free will. Um, I think that Forrest Gump said it very well near the end of that movie, where he said that some people think that life is floating around on a breeze, and some think that you have a destiny, and that he thinks maybe it's kind of both.
Hmm.
And it is kind of both.
It is.
And if you're here for whatever reason that you're here, and your free will overrides that and you don't do it, you'll get another chance.
Yep.
Probably get a lot of chances.
Yep. That's true. But that's a good reason. That's one of the reasons why we do come back. If we get off path and we miss one of the things we were supposed to do or experience or learn, then we come back to get it next time. That's
I,
true.
I remember one of the first, I don't know if one was one of the first spirits that I communicated with that was not connected to music and that was not an ancestor of mine was a kid, a teenager who had messed up. And what he said was that it all got out of control and he just couldn't handle it. And he knew he just needed to start over. And I didn't like that, but now I sort of understand it. That's not something you could tell somebody's parent that, you know, they decided they needed to start over. I don't know how you would tell somebody that who's grieving a lost child, but
It's not easy.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
But that's true.
yeah,
Sometimes people will take an exit point because they just aren't connecting with this lifetime and they're not able to handle a lot of the karmic lessons they had outlined for themselves. And in my world, or in my understanding, it isn't God that makes us come back and work on our karma. We do it out of our own guilt and regret for bad things that we may have done, or for hurting others, or for being insensitive, whatever it is. I think it's our own souls that choose the experiences that we learn.
And I think there's a big misconception about destiny or fate or whatever you want to call it,
Hmm.
because if you're here for whatever reason, that doesn't mean that you are locked in and that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, you can
You
make a
have to,
different
you have
choice.
free will. You have to make it happen
Yep,
or not.
or not. That's right.
But
That's
I
right.
think that when you talk about fate or you talk about destiny, sometimes people just throw their hands up and, it's out of my control. This is what I have to do. And it's not. And if you're feeling that way about something that you're here to do, um, maybe you're misreading what it is you're either trying to do or what it is you're here to do. But if you're here we're all here for a particular reason, and it doesn't feel right to you, that's probably not why you're here.
That's right. If it doesn't feel right, that's not the right thing. And that's exactly the answer to that question, because I get asked a lot in the course of my work. How do I know if I'm on the right path? That's actually easy because you ask, all right, how do you feel about your life? How do you feel about what you're doing? Does it resonate with you? Does it align with you? Does it feel fulfilling and meaningful? And are you learning and growing along the way? That's the way to determine whether you're doing the right thing or whether you're on your path. Seriously, it really is. I mean, for a long time, I had a bunch of corporate jobs where I was in advertising, sales, and marketing. And especially the sales part, I got very good at making people do stuff, which is what sales is. And it didn't feel spiritual to me as I got older. And it came to a point where even though I made lots of money doing all those things, I just felt wrong. And I moved to Houston, so it was harder for me to get a job like that because I was already in my 60s when I moved here. And I'd never driven on 5-lane highways where everybody's going over 100. And like it was crazy. It was really hard, but I did learn how to do it. But the point being, I decided I'm going to assess who I am and what I really want to do and what I should be doing and what I came here to do. And I said, "Who are you?" And I asked myself that question. And I made little notes and wrote because my moon is in Virgo, and I wrote everything down. And I came to the conclusion that I was a caregiver to the world, so that anything I did, whether it was writing, which I love to do, and I knew I was came here to write. That's another story. That whether I was doing readings to help people, whether I was doing life coaching, which helps people, or whether I was watching little children as a nanny, which was my day job. And I had had a previous day job that also resonated with me. I became a home health nurse, and I was working with a quadriplegic. I did that for a couple of years. And that was very fulfilling to me. So anytime I was doing something that really helped other people, I lit up inside, I was happy, and it didn't feel like work. So I decided I'm a caregiver. So I will never work at anything that doesn't align with helping others, giving care. And that is my destiny. I know that for a fact.
I think that for a lot of people, and certainly a lot of people that we have talked to on psychic tapestry over the years, they get hung up on jobs.
Yeah,
They want it needs to check all these boxes. It needs to be fulfilling. It needs to be somehow my life's work. It needs to do this. It needs to do that. And sometimes it just needs to put food on the table.
very true.
Sometimes it needs to just give you that paycheck to allow you, when you're not at work, to be able to pursue whatever it is that your heart wants you to do. And difficult for a lot of people to wrap their brains around that this doesn't have to be, unless you do win the Powerball, most of us need some kind of job to bring in some kind of money to live. And it would be great if you could find something that was whatever ticked all those boxes for you. But you want to keep the power on. You want the air conditioning, even in September, it's hot. Well,
Hmm.
it's hot for a lot of us. You want
Yeah.
to be able to keep food coming in. You want to be able to live, to put gas in the car, to insure that car, to do all those things that you need to do. And it may be that you need a job that will do that, but at the same time, it allows you, when you're not at that job, to pursue other interests. Because if you're going to hold out for the perfect whatever to fall into your lap, good luck. I mean, it could happen,
Hmm.
but you know what? It could also happen while you're doing some other job that you don't necessarily want to be at for a very long time, but it still brings in money. It still affords you the luxury of looking for whatever it is that you're meant to do, that you want to do. And meant to do and want to do aren't always the same thing, which really circles us back to this whole free will versus
Yeah, it
destiny thing
does.
anyway.
Absolutely. But you know what? I found something that addressed that. And it reminded me of all the people that I have interacted with who will come to me and say, am I on the right path? Did I make the right choice? Or when is my destiny going to appear? Which is even crazier. And they're like waiting, like you had mentioned before, and not really doing anything. And those people you have to try to inspire to trust themselves. What they're saying is that they don't trust themselves to know what's going to make them happy. Because if you're happy at what you do, then that's a good thing for you. You're not on the wrong path. If you're happy and you're productive and you get up, in fact, here's a checklist. It says, how do you choose your path? It's by discovering your passions in life. What do you care about? What lights you up inside? What drives you to get up from a warm bed on a cold morning? I like that sentence. Reminded me of Pennsylvania. It says you have to be willing to take a risk. And if you've always wanted to try it, go for it. Go for it. And it says trust your gut always, because we clairsentience is a part of your psychic abilities or your natural intuition. And clairsentience is that gut feeling, the feeling that something is either right or wrong for you. So trust your gut always. And then it says own your decisions. You know why? Oh, even the bad ones, because you learn the most from them. And it says prioritize your personal life also, and be sure that you have a good balance in whatever you choose, because we are here, and one of our main purposes is to be happy. Believe it or not, that's what God and all the angels want for you. They want you to come here, do your thing, and be as happy as you can within that.
The
And that's a
question,
successful person.
the
Mm-hmm.
question, am I on the right path?
Yeah.
Is
How does it
is
feel?
is one of those questions that you already know. You already know the answer to that. You want
That's
somebody
right.
else to say it. We
Yep.
like validation very much, and we want somebody else to say, yes, you're on the right path, or no, that's not the right path. But you already know. That's like so many of the love relationship calls that we would get. Is he the one? You know,
Oh yeah.
you know.
You know, deep down.
Yeah. Are we going to get back together? You know, you know. You don't want to know. You don't want to admit you know, but you
Right.
know.
But you know.
Most of that stuff. even without taking the classes or honing the skills, we're all psychic to a degree or one degree or
Hmm.
another. And if you doubt that, think about it next time you're in traffic and you slow down because you know that guy in the right lane is going to pull in front of you. You know, he doesn't have a turn signal on. You just know, and he does. And you don't think about it. But you do, you do know. And I'm as guilty of it as anyone. I would love to hear somebody tell me you're on the right path. You're doing what you're supposed to do. You're in the right place. You're with the right people. All of that kind of stuff. I would love for
Yeah,
somebody to tell me that. Um, it just it makes us feel better rather than trusting our own intuition. And but you already know.
that's there you go. I was going to say that, but I thought it might be
Yeah,
too
you
much.
already know. You already know. And I'm not trying to keep anybody from getting a reading from either of us, but
Yeah,
honestly, you already know.
you do.
And that's true for so many of the questions we get. And I understand that the whole validation thing. It's like, people will want to know what is the path they're supposed to be on, what's the reason that they're here, what do they need to do to get from point A to point B. And really, if somebody else tells you, sure, it makes it easy, but you didn't learn anything.
Hmm.
You didn't really experience anything. So you're just going to have to come back and do it again.
Yeah. Yeah, if you hide and you play it so safe that you never accomplish anything, I mean, that's sad. That's you've kind of wasted your time here
Yeah.
because yeah, we're really supposed to be happy and we're supposed to do things that make us happy. And when you're on the right path, there's a feeling that you're doing the right thing, that it feels right, resonates with you. You don't mind getting up to do it, and you kind of feel like you don't really work. You do things that you love, and that's the important thing.
I I don't know if dabbled is the right word, but I sort of stuck a toe into numerology years
Yeah.
ago. And there's ways to figure out what you're doing here this
Uh-huh.
time around through that. And I didn't like the answer that I got, which is probably why I didn't go any further into numerology. But basically, I'm a producer.
Hmm. And you are.
I help other people achieve what they want to achieve, do what they want to do. I'm not necessarily the star, but I help, and that was my career in traditional radio for, I don't know, 30 plus years. It's kind of my role here,
Yeah.
and it's my role in other aspects of my life as well. And sometimes it's that I want to. Am I still on?
Yes.
Okay. I just got a weird message on my computer. Um, but it's sometimes it's annoying that let me just do it. I can do it. I know what I'm
Hmm.
doing. I'll just do it, but I can't. And there have been times where I have tried to do that, but that's not why I'm here. And it didn't really work out so well. And I could try and force it, but I know that's not why I'm here. And I hope that doesn't sound defeatist. That doesn't make me want to stop doing anything. Um, but I run this online Christmas music station called The Sounds of Christmas, and it also has a podcast. And half the time on the podcast, it's just me talking about different things about Christmas music, articles I've come across, et cetera, et cetera. The episodes where it's just me do not do nearly as well as when I'm talking to someone else. Not necessarily some singer or musician that you've heard of, but it could even be just another Christmas podcaster, somebody who's not even has not even been around as long as I have, somebody who is still figuring things out and doesn't have a following that I do, doesn't have, I I don't want it to sound too I don't want to sound too egotistical, but somebody who is where I was years ago. Even that episode will do so much better than the ones that are just featuring me. And I I get it. I mean, there are parts of me that sure I want to be the star. I want to be I want to have somebody producing me. But that's not what this round is. And to be honest, there is a lot of pride and satisfaction that I get when I have helped somebody have a great show, do whatever it is that I've helped them do. Um, it feels really good, and that's a little clue that
Mhm.
lets me know that I'm doing the right thing and I should stop fighting it. But I'm human and I have enough ego where I'm gonna wrestle with it because that's what we do.
That's right. I think you do an excellent job of what you do, and I'm personally blessed by you. So thank you for being you
Oh, well,
and
thank you
doing,
very much.
yeah.
I am always very grateful that you came along and
Oh,
pestered me into letting you come on and doing
I
this.
sure did. My guides made me do that. I've never put myself forward like that in any other way ever. And they just kept saying, nope, keep emailing him. You're supposed to be doing this. So I listened. And, I'm very blessed to have this relationship with my spirit guides. And spirit guides are the next part of this discussion, I think, because I found a whole section on the spirit guides' role in helping us not to miss our destiny. So, see, we aren't alone. We have a spirit guide at birth that had similar experiences to what we've had so that they can help to guide us. And we've talked about that many times. That's a whole other discussion. But if you accept the fact that you were given a spirit guide at birth, at least one, and then others join, sometimes the family members will come on the team and your departed loved ones and all kinds of people, and sometimes elementals, fairies you can have, or just all kinds of things will be on souls will be on your spirit team. So basically, the angels or the spirit guides help us to stay on our destined path by guiding our thoughts and our energy toward love and alignment with the universe. Because really, Earth and the Earth experience is all about love. Can we love? Can we feel love? Can we give love? Can we accept love? This is a big part of why we're here. And loving what you do, and not feeling like you don't work is another aspect. So they're pushing you toward things that you care about also, so that you find your right path and that you do fulfill your destiny. And let's see here. They help us through synchronicity, which would mean putting us in the right place at the right time. And I bet we could talk about that for days, right?
Yes.
Yep, they help us through our dreams. We are actually guided in our dreams very often. Sometimes it's just our subconscious playing with us and processing the day. But every now and then you have a dream that seems extremely meaningful, and it is. And it helps to point you in the right direction. They use our intuition to guide us, and they're always trying to guide us to the experiences and the adventures that are for our highest good, because those spirit guides love us the most. And they want us to follow and also follow your own intuition. Because honestly, I believe truly that you know best for you. Nobody else can tell you what you're supposed to be doing. You really do know best for you. Let's see if I'm missing anything. Follow your intuition. Yep. your guides work through your intuition. So that's it. I agree.
I think I have told this story before, but it fits in with this. Um, when I think I was 22, I got in a car accident.
Oh, wow.
This guy raced through a stop sign and as I was going through the intersection and smacked into the side of my car. A foot's difference, and we never would have met, at least not
Wow.
in this lifetime. And I didn't think much about it at the time, other than that I was really annoyed. Um, and it kind of ruined my day. But I mean, I was
Yes.
alive,
Yeah.
and
Right.
this kid that was driving this car, knew he made a mistake, and I I I don't know how old he is. I mean, I was only 22, but I knew what I needed to do, and I called the police, and I called my job because I wasn't going to be there on time, and I did all those, called an insurance company, all those adult sort of things. But a few years, my guides showed me that scene again with my eyes today, and there was a group of people in spirit standing on the lawn on one of the corners of that intersection there to collect me because I was supposed to die in that accident.
Wow.
And I seeing that scene again and seeing them, I recognized a couple. Some of them I have no idea who they were. Maybe I wasn't supposed to know. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't recognize them. I don't know. But I very clearly heard one of them say, let's see what he does with it, because I was still there. So let's see what I do with my life. And I don't know. There are some
Wow.
days I think that the 30 plus years since then, have I have I made them proud? Have I made them sorry that they didn't collect me? I go back and forth on that depending on how I'm feeling on that day. But I feel like that was a major exit point for me, and somehow a decision was made that I wasn't going to leave then. Um, I don't know how that would be free will. I feel like that was more fate, except that it seemed like I was also, everybody thought that I was leaving then. Um, so I don't really know. I just feel like that was a major exit point and I didn't take it. And
That's good.
and all
God.
of the years since then have, I guess, sort of been just gravy for me that I mean, there's been plenty of free will, it seemed. I have done a lot of things that I just wanted to do, but I have still been led or chose to lead myself on that path of being a producer and helping other people be the best that they could be. And I don't know. I know when I saw that scene play out so many years later, I was very surprised because I had no idea how close I had come to
Right.
heading out and not getting to talk to any of you people.
Aw. We're so glad that you didn't take the exit point. Thank God.
Well, I'm glad too. I have done, I have plenty of days where I am down on myself, double, just not sure what the heck I'm doing here. And what am I doing? And why am I doing this? And why is this happening? And why is there? I have plenty of those days. But big picture, I like to think that I have done more for others than I have taken or done for myself.
Right.
And I don't know if that's free will or destiny or just my ego trying to make myself into a better person. But I think that as humans, we all try and do the best we can. And we move along our paths as much as we can.
Yes.
And if you're listening to this and you feel like you're stuck, you're not stuck forever.
Mm-mm.
Figure out, try to figure out what it is you're supposed to learn from where you are right now and figure out where you want to be. And that's a big question, where you want to be. Because most of us don't know. Most of us don't think about that. Most of us don't feel like we have the luxury of time to think about that. I got to get up. I got to walk the dog. I got to get showered, dressed, off to work. I got to do that stinking job for 8.5 hours. And then I'm going to come home and make dinner. And I got laundry to do. And I got kids to take care of. And I got this and that and the other thing. And then I got to get to bed so I can do it all again tomorrow. And a lot of us feel like that. And you're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years old. But you matter and you got to take some time for you. And I would suggest, and I've done this so many times when we talk about relationships, get out a legal pad, write down the things that make you happy, that you enjoy doing. And it could be great big giant thing. I love winning a 5K. Okay, that's terrific. What else? I like toasted chocolate Pop Tarts. Okay, keep making your list for as many pages as you can and let it be fun. Don't let it be homework. Let it be fun. Let figuring all these things out. And this gives you something to look at, and you will probably surprise yourself with some of the things that you come up with that make you happy, that you want to do, that you enjoy doing. And that's what you should spend at least some of your time on. And when you start to spend some of your time on you, you'll be able to look at those other things that you have to do to put food on the table and pay the power bill. That will help you look at those as those are giving you the opportunity to follow your dream and maybe make your dream more than just a dream.
It's beautiful. I love that.
And I don't want to ruin anything by adding anything to that, so I'll let that go.
That was perfect. Thank you.
Well, before we wrap this up, we've got a couple people who are in our Zoom with us, and um, I'm going to go ahead and ask you guys to unmute and see if Joe or Steve, do you have anything, first of all, that you'd like to add to what we were talking about as far as free will and destiny?
Or any questions? Anybody?
No, I don't have anything on that subject this week.
Okay.
Okay. Well, in that case,
I pulled cards for him.
okay.
Okay. Okay. I pulled some cards for you, Joe.
All right.
I already did. And the first one is the law of attraction. And it says each thought is an investment that pays immediate dividends. So invest all of your thoughts very wisely. You have the power to choose your thoughts and align them with love, peace, and harmony. And at your request, the guides and angels will gladly attune your energies to even higher frequencies. So that is a good one. And the next card is new partner. Don't know if you're ready for this yet, but get ready. because according to your guides and angels, a new partner is coming into your life. And it says a chance meeting is no mistake. It is divinely orchestrated as a catalyst to set the wheels in motion for the fruition of your prayers. Pay careful attention to the new people that the angels send into your life. You will recognize them by your sense of familiarity, comfort, and safety. And this may not be a new person also. It could be someone that you already know. But that person was sent into your life for a reason. And you're about to have a new partner. Then I have, I'm going to do one more. I'm going to ask you which one of these you want me to say out loud. I'll send you the other one. We have, what do you desire, and go for it. I guess that pretty much sums it up. I'm going to give you go for it. Okay. Your prayers and positive expectations have been heard and answered. We've been working with you on this situation since its genesis, and we continue to watch over you and everyone involved. Stay on your present path, as it will take you very far indeed. That is a good reading for you, Mr. Joe.
I agree.
Yes, I'm going to give you to Ken.
Hey, Joe.
Hi.
The song that was playing when we brought you on was "Ode to Joy" by Joe Jackson. This is not the "Ode to Joy" that you're probably thinking of.
I don't know Joe Jackson that much. I know a little bit of it, but
Okay. Don't say no when you feel joy. That's a line that comes up many
okay.
times in the song. And I think that that's something that a lot of us do when we start to when things go right, when we start to feel really good about ourselves, our situations, our love life, whatever, we feel guilty and we start looking for, what am I missing? What's wrong? What what don't I know about this person, about this job? What did I forget to do? We sabotage ourselves. And instead, what this song is telling you to do is don't say no when you feel joy. Feel it.
Okay.
That
That's
makes
good.
sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I love that for you, Joe. Go for it. That was the other
Okay.
part. So,
All right. Thank you so much.
You are very welcome.
Thank you for coming. Okay.
You want to pull some cards for Steve?
Yes, I already did. While you were talking, I did. Okay, Mr. Steve, hello.
Hey, Toni.
How are you? Okay, so the first card that came out for you is Shower of Abundance. It's a really beautiful card. And what it means is that you don't have to worry about money, basically. And the angels want you to give any concerns you might have about money or finances to the angels. And they will guide you in order to show you how to create and accept even more abundance in your life. And as you work together with them, you will find that it will be in your best interest and that even more abundance will come. So every day, ask your angels and guides to help you in every way, and that's one of them. The second card is Cupid. And this is saying that love has come into your life recently, or it is about to. And the angels are sending you great waves of love into your heart. Can't read this, too little. And mind, awakening love for life itself. So you're feeling even more energetic and happier than normal. And it says you had a clear decision to accept and enjoy romance, and that triggered a reawakening. So the angels say, allow yourself to spontaneously celebrate love in all its glorious aspects and be grateful for the gift. And then the last card is there is nothing for you to worry about. It has a big angel on it. And it says you are safe, and the situation that you worry about is under the perfect control of a divine providence and universal order. Only infuse loving thoughts and emotions into the situation to ensure that the highest possible outcome flows effortlessly to and through you. So the angels say, you have got it going on. You don't have to worry about a thing. Nothing to worry about. I hope that resonated with you.
Thank you, Toni.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming, Steve.
Hmm.
It was great. And now I'm going to give you to Ken.
Oh, forgot I had turned my mic off. I hope I'm getting over a cold. And so I
I
turned it
hope
off
so
in case I
too.
was coughing. Steve, I have two songs for you actually, because one was ending and then the next one was starting. The first one, it was Frank Sinatra, "These Foolish Things Remind Me of You." It's an it's a standard. Do you know that one?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I
Um,
do.
it's all about um all these little mementos that make you think of somebody. Um, all these silly things remind me of you. Um, telephone calls, cigarette in the ashtray, all these, and all it is that let it happen. If and be glad that it did happen. It doesn't mean anything more than that it's a cigarette in an ashtray. Um, I just like to say the past is a great place to visit, but you don't want to live there. So when you see something or hear a song or there's an old movie on TV that makes you think of somebody else, um, don't let it have more power than it needs to. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The other song that was playing that started was "Ripple" by the Grateful Dead. Do you know that one?
No, I don't. I'm not a big Grateful Dead fan.
Um, ripples are. I am a big fan. I'm a big fan of the song. Um, and the idea of ripples, that whatever you do may seem like it's a small thing, but it touches others, and that in turn touches others, and so on and so on. So the smallest kindnesses that you can do will have this huge impact that you may never know about. And that's okay. There are some times uh, where we've had episodes of Psychic Tapestry, and especially before when we were on Blog Talk Radio, there were all kinds of tech problems, and maybe two people ended up hearing that episode. But I always feel like those were the right two. Those were the two who needed to hear that. And maybe they learned something or experienced something that made them feel better, and they were better to somebody else or shared it with somebody else who then shared it with somebody else, and so on and so on. But you never know, and you can't measure it, but it's something that you can just feel good about, and it doesn't have to be. We're so into numbers these days with social media, and you want to get so many likes on your post, or you want to get so many um, comments or so many emojis or whatever. And the important thing is that the right person sees it, and the right person is affected or impacted. Their load maybe is made lighter, and they do the same for somebody else. And you never know, and that's okay. You just want to be able to do that kindness. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Really does.
Um, well, that's it. And thank you. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you to everybody who is listening to this at some point in the future. Time travel. Ooh. Whenever, whenever you're listening to this, we appreciate it. We love you guys so much, and we're very grateful that you spend some of your time with us, whether it's live here on Zoom or whether it's on your phone or on your computer or wherever you consume podcasts. Thank you. And if you would like to reach out to us, if you're listening on your phone, click that send us a text message little thingy on there, and you can send us your questions or your comments or anything that you would like us to know. And you can also do that at facebook.com/psychic tapestry or at psychic tapestry on X, formerly Twitter. Toni, thank you again for giving up part of your evening for us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And thank you, everyone, for listening. We do love you.
Yes, we sure do. And we'll be back in 2 weeks, which, oh my God, it'll be October.
Oh, will it?
Yeah,
Is it? Yes, it'll be the first
it'll be the
day.
1st of October.
Yeah.
All right. You don't have to come in costume when you listen. You can check the Psychic Tapestry website, and you'll get the member ID for Zoom if you would like to join Psychic Tapestry Live. We'd love to have you. Otherwise, look for us on your favorite podcasting site, and the episode should be up Wednesday or Thursday, depending on life, the universe, and everything. You know how that goes. In the meantime, thanks again for listening, and take care of yourself. Stay safe, and remember to tell those close to you that you love them. And we'll see you in a couple weeks.